I think that my biggest issue with American politics right now is that no one wants to talk to each other. I mean, no one wants to talk to me about politics, and granted, it's because I live in a very liberal area and everyone is still recovering from Tuesday. But I really want to talk to people about politics, and so I was trying to think of a way to kind of start a discussion with people that might not necessarily agree with me, because I want to meet and talk to people from all over the different areas of politics. I want people from more of how I was raised, which is in a more liberal area. I want to talk to people who are more conservative. I have a number of my friends who are very conservative, and I try to, in general, make a concerted effort to talk to as many people who agree and who disagree with me as absolutely possible. I think that this is the worst part of politics right now, that people just refuse to talk to each other. I know a lot of people right now who, because of the results of this election, on both sides, by the way, are saying, block me, unfollow me, don't talk to me, because I do not want to be your friend if you voted the opposite way that I did. And I think this is an awful way of thinking, because how are we supposed to understand each other and have open and honest communication if we never get the chance to even know each other? I mean, I think it's an incredibly large missed opportunity if we all just kind of shut each other in this little bubble and never reach out and never try to figure out what the other people are thinking. Because honestly, we all live in this country together, and no matter how much we wish that, we could just all exist separately, and every state does have its own culture, and every state does have the right to control a lot of itself politically. We also have a federal government that is run by the person that we all choose. And so in order to kind of face that fact and figure out how we are voting and how we are thinking politically, I think it's important to reach out. And so I just want to start by introducing myself. My name is Lily Taylor, and I am a political science student who genuinely wants to talk to everyone. I am very non-judgmental. I have in the past talked to all kinds of people, and I want to continue to talk to all kinds of people. And I hope that this podcast, YouTube, TikTok will be a way that I can meet people. I I want to know what you think. I want to know how you are thinking about politics. I want to know what prompts your voting choices. What issues matter to you? What do you want out of your politicians? I don't necessarily think that this election, while it was very dramatic and very large, I don't think that this larger election is as, I'm not going to say as impactful, because it was, but I think that in a lot of ways both sides are reacting very strongly to a event that, while significant, may not actually affect the country as much as people are believing it will. And I mean that on both sides. I've had a kind of interesting situation in the last, I guess it's like what, 4 days something since Tuesday. I don't know when any of this will be uploaded, but since Tuesday I've had a very interesting experience, because I have been following people on social media with this new account that I otherwise probably would not, or would follow less closely. And in the following of these people, I have learned a number of things which I don't feel like I ever would have learned if I was sticking to my normal feed. And I just think it is very important for people from both sides of the aisle to listen to at least the beliefs of other people. They do not have to take them into their own belief system. They do not have to take them into account at all when they're making their own political choices. But I just feel like it's an interesting thought experiment to go to sides of the internet that you wouldn't experience. Unfortunately, in most of our feed is tailored very specifically to our belief system, to our bubble. And what I find the most important is that we all take at least one step back and just look at one account that you think you might disagree with. One of the things that I hear from a number of people in my life is, I just don't know how Trump won. I don't understand how he could have won. I really thought Kamala was gonna win. And I find this a very interesting take because right now I am living in California, which on the whole, the coast at least, is very blue. And if you've looked at the maps of the red and blue areas of California, which have been online recently, you may have noticed that California is becoming more red. And growing up, a lot of my friends who live just a little bit outside of the area that I'm in were not liberal. And if you go outside of the coast, like inland, any direction, you are instantly in Trump country. I mean, the MAGA flags everywhere. And I think that people don't realize that about California because everyone's like, oh, you know, the Californians, they're always voting blue. All of them are Kamala supporters. What is it, the 4B? What is the... all of the breakdowns that are happening right now. That's not all of California. And I think that it's really difficult for people from the middle of the country, from other parts of the country that just like see California as this like monochromatic, all blue area, and even people in California who live in these bubbles are not seeing the larger picture that California is not entirely blue. Anyway, all of this to say, people from very uniform Democratic areas and people from very uniform Republican areas, conservative and liberal areas, I feel like they just need to step outside of their bubble just once. And it's not to change your belief. It's not to try to convince you one way or another. It's really just to take a step back and to try to understand where people of other political beliefs are coming from. It might not seem very important to you right now, but if you're trying to understand the country and how the country functions, and trying to understand why people are having breakdowns on the internet, or why people are telling other people to block them, I don't think the response is to actually block people. I don't think the response is to actually go out of your way to be angry at people or to be hateful of people. I think hate is the most dividing thing that we can possibly do right now. What we should be doing is trying to understand everyone so that we can have a more unified country. I think that this division is one of the most damaging things that we could possibly be doing right now. I really hope that my podcast, at least, will try to bring people together and hopefully succeed. And I hope that different people from all different sides can share their stories with me and help me understand, and through me, perhaps others understand where people are coming from politically. Because I really think that the best thing that we can do right now is to try to listen to each other, and understand each other with open hearts, open minds, and just be nice, be kind, be gentle. There is so much hateful language right now out in the world, and it's not helping. It's like none of this is helping. What we should be doing is we should be being nice to each other. The people who are gloating right now, that is awesome. Your candidate won, and you should be happy. But going out of your way to reach out to people and spread hate, to laugh at people who are genuinely upset right now, that's not, in my opinion, the correct response. And the people who are telling others to block them or to unfollow if you disagree, just there are so many nice people on both sides of the aisle. And without talking to them, it is impossible for you to convince them one way or another to have friends who disagree with you. And I think that that is the only way that we can grow as people, to know people who disagree with us, to know people who have all sorts of beliefs. It's how ideas have always spread and how they've evolved. I don't think that in a country that is controlled by one government, we can exist entirely as bubbles. At some point, we're going to have to make a collective effort to understand each other. And that's, again, what I'm trying to attempt to do with my podcast. I don't think that I am the arbiter of everything. I don't think that my opinions are correct. I don't think my opinions are incorrect. I just want to talk to people. That is that's my entire goal with this, is I just want to see how you are all doing, you know? I want to talk to you as an equal, as someone who is trying to understand you. And I just want to share everyone's stories. I am less concerned about your anger and your hatred and more about what is worrying you. What are you afraid of? What are you hoping will come out of this that is positive? You know, how can I see this your way? That's really what I'm hoping to achieve. So if you are interested in politics and if you are interested in figuring out how things work and how people think, then I hope that you will consider following my journey, because I really want to keep this up. I really want to talk to people. If you want to share your story, if you want to talk to me, reach out. I am more than happy to have people on to talk to me about their feelings. I will be slowly learning how to use all of the software because I am not the most technologically adept yet. But say hi, leave a comment. What do you want to hear me talk about? Is there a specific political belief that you are confused about that you want to understand? These are all the things that I want to know. So with that in mind, my name is Lily Taylor, and I want to hear from you.